That's right guys, it's that video. What's up guys, it's Lord of the Cubes, and today I'm gonna be doing a walkthrough solve on my SQUARE-3. I kind of hate you guys for making me do this, but here it is anyway. And either way, I feel like this solve will help me break in this brand new puzzle. That's right, this is a SQUARE-3 version 2. Version 1 is horrible, I made a YouTube short about it, but to sum it up, the stickers look bad, this one has like filleted stickers and they're the right size. This one sounds like maracas, and it's super loose because I did the clearances wrong. This one does not, it turns normally. And recently, the slice layer on this has started squeaking, which I will not put up with. Fortunately, this one doesn't squeak either, so we're good to go. But before we get into the solve, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I'm currently in a subscriber race with AB Cuber, and as of recording this video, they're about 200 subscribers ahead of me. I don't really think it's fair that they challenged me to the race when they were super far ahead, so let's catch up, guys. For all of you wondering what the SQUARE-3 looks like when it's scrambled, it looks like this. This looks really scary, but the scariest part's first, so that's okay. I hate myself for scrambling this so much. Step 1 is cube shape. What you do here is get all of the edges paired up. There should be 8 edges, and by edges I specifically mean these 30-degree edges. And an interesting property of this puzzle is that whenever you do a slice move on either side of each layer, there will be an even number of edges. For example, this one has 0 and it can turn, but if we try to do it with 1, you'll see that it will always be blocked. Just a fun little property I noticed about this. This actually also applies to the SQUARE-1, believe it or not. Anyway, we already have 2 matched up. Our bottom layer is crap. The absolute worst thing about this step is that there are no algorithms for it. You just have to, like, figure it out yourself. I hate this. I hate this so much. Why did I do this? The nice thing is it's actually pretty straightforward after the first step. It's like the opposite of like how on a 3x3 it gets harder as you go. This actually gets easier as you go along, despite what it might look like now. Well, I mean, it does look easier as you go on too, so... Oh! Alright, now I have 3 next to each other, and another one down here. This is not a bad case by any means. All of these are 20-degree pieces, so we can do this. Oh, by the way, now it might be a little late to mention this, but if you don't know what the heck a SQUARE-3 is, watch my previous video on it. Alright, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges paired up, and the last 2 are here and here. This is a case on SQUARE-1, so, hang on, I don't know SQUARE-1. Let me pull up my algorithm sheet. I wish I was kidding. At this point, the puzzle has been basically reduced to a SQUARE-1, because we've got all these edges next to each other, and 3 20-degree pieces forms one 60-degree piece, which is a corner on a SQUARE-1. I would show you this if I had a SQUARE-1 on hand. And it actually doesn't matter what order the pieces are in. It doesn't matter that all of these are wedges and there isn't like a corner piece in the middle or anything. It still functions as a corner piece. And because of that, it doesn't matter that these 2 edges aren't actually paired up. There are 3 20-degree pieces in between them. So this functions as a corner, and this has been reduced to a SQUARE-1. Thank God that didn't take any longer, I was losing it. And after all my hard work, it still looks like it's scrambled. But believe it or not, this is cube shape on the SQUARE-3. I say the word cube shape very loosely, but I am not a squanner, so if anybody in the SQUARE-1 community knows if there's a better term for this, please let me know. The puzzle currently follows the same pattern on both layers as it is in its solved state, which is 1 30-degree piece followed by 3 20-degree pieces for each segment of 90. And now, the fun part, SQUARE-1 reduction. On a SQUARE-2, there's a very simple algorithm you can use to cycle 3 pieces around, and it just looks like this. And this 3 cycle not only can be used to solve the entirety of the SQUARE-2 puzzle, but is also used to reduce the SQUARE-3 into a SQUARE-1. So if you know how to solve a SQUARE-1 and you know how to solve a SQUARE-2, you kind of know how to solve a SQUARE-3, you just gotta put the pieces together. Alright, so let's start off with, let's say this corner right here, this purple, red, and green. And yes, I used purple on this puzzle. If you didn't see my last video, it was because it's easier to differentiate from yellow than white. And I would say that actually worked out pretty well on this. It looks that this purple-green wedge here fits next to the corner in question, so we can very easily do this 3 cycle that I just talked about, making sure that none of our edges are in the way. Everything is still in its proper quote-unquote cube shape. and these two are now paired up. And you can basically do this over and over again until you have built up all of the corners in their proper places and reduced it to a square one. I put the wrong wedge here, I'm a freaking idiot. Anyway, my phone is rapidly running out of storage, so I am gonna be right back, and I'm not gonna film all of reduction because that would take a very long time. At this point, I am almost done with the solve. We are reduced to a square one. Almost. That's right, parity can happen on this puzzle. This is a 2 swap between this wedge and this corner, and there is a way to fix it. And all you really have to do is swap the position of where this corner is with this corner. So I'm going to start off by putting this wedge here. Alright, after that, alright, next up we're going to put the corner in. And next up we're actually going to put this piece here. But this piece won't go here yet because that's for the last cycle. And lastly, we can 3-cycle these pieces. That's right, parity on this can be fixed with only 4 commutators. On SQUARE-2, it takes about 12. That's why SQUARE-3 is better. And hang on. Now we're actually in cube shape. So at this point, you can just solve it like a square one. There is parity, but square one also has parity, so it kind of cancels out. If you know square one, you know how to deal with parity on this. I'm going to be doing that off camera as well, because I need an algorithm sheet for that, I'm going to be honest.
One eternity later.
And solved. That is how you solve the SQUARE-3. Let me know if this tutorial was useful for you. I'm just kidding, this wasn't useful for you. I'm the only person to have one of these. In fact, these are the only 2 of these in the world as far as I'm aware. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe so we can beat a B-Cuber. And stay tuned for more puzzles that I have designed because there are more of those on the way. On that note, this is Lord of the Cubes, signing off.